After averaging 31.2 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in the 2022 NBA Finals, Stephen Curry had become the first player in league history to average that stat line in the finals with over 5 threes made per game.
Stephen Curry stepped onto the hardwood this season with that familiar, quiet confidence, knowing better than anyone how every second, every possession, every pull-up three could become a spectacle. From the very first game, you sensed the electricity in the air. He wasn't just playing basketball. He was painting, crafting another chapter in a story that already belongs in the pantheon of legends. It began with that flash of brilliance no one could argue with. Not thunderous dunks or towering blocks, but the silky smooth rhythm of shot after shot falling. Each one a dagger that carved its way into history. Impossible deep threes, step backs that seemed to bend gravity, no-look passes so sharp they cut defenses in half. This season felt as if it had been designed for him. Each night, another canvas waiting for his brush. Game after game, Curry reminded every doubter that age is powerless against greatness forged in obsession. At 37 years old, he played 70 games, averaging 24.5 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 6 assists, all while being smothered by defenses who knew stopping him was the only way to stop the Warriors. Traps, double teams, defenders glued to his jersey. It didn't matter. Somehow, someway, he still rained down 311 threes, the most in the league, at nearly 40% accuracy on 11 attempts per night. The numbers themselves told one story, but the feeling told another. Each time the ball touched his hands, the arena held its breath. You just knew magic was about to happen. But magic is best measured in the moments where time itself seems to freeze. One of those came in that unforgettable overtime thriller.
Looking, Curry gets free. Curry puts up a three. Bang! Bang! He ties the game with 6.3 remaining.
The Warriors trailed late, and Curry's thumb was taped tight after spraining it earlier in the game. He grimaced between plays, but you could see the fire in his eyes. Then came the barrage. He scored 36 points in total, 18 of them in the final quarter alone, knocking down 7 threes as the crowd erupted into chaos. Every shot looked impossible, every release rushed by hands in his face, yet each one sliced through the net as if guided by destiny. That night, Curry wasn't just playing through pain, he was commanding it, bending it to his will. And still, that was just the beginning. Because what truly captured the essence of Steph at his best came in the games that belonged entirely to him. Nights where the scoreboard felt more like a stage spotlight. The 56-point masterpiece in Orlando was one such night. Curry hit 12 threes, each more audacious than the last. He pulled up from distances few would dare attempt, turned defenders into statues, and left fans shaking their heads in disbelief. The crowd, even the opposing fans, could only applaud. Then came Memphis just days later. 52 points, another dozen threes. Another night where Curry seemed to hover above the hardwood, untouchable. It was as if he was whispering to the basketball world, "I'm still here. I'm still the greatest shooter alive." These weren't just box score explosions. They were experiences, moments that bent the energy of the arena into one collective heartbeat. Every catch in the corner, every shimmy off the dribble, every glance at the rim, it felt choreographed, yet entirely unpredictable. The media buzzed with headlines, All-NBA second team, 11 selections in 12 years, 37 years old, and still rewriting what elite looks like. They weren't awards as much as they were acknowledgments that this man refuses to bow to time. And then there were the plays that belong in slow motion, the kind of sequences where the camera should pan back, the music should swell, and the world should stop. Half a court away, Curry launching a prayer, the ball hanging in the air as the crowd gasps, and before it even touches the rim, swish. Or the lightning-quick pull-up after curling around a screen, the defender too late, the form too perfect, and the sound of the net snapping like applause. These are the plays that leave the basketball world asking not just how, but how often. Curry has turned the impossible into the inevitable. Mid-season, when the team struggled and questions swirled, Curry leaned harder into his craft. And then came the boost no one saw coming, the return of Jimmy Butler. With Butler's grit and leadership beside him, Curry elevated even further. In 28 games together, he averaged over 27 points, shooting nearly 47% from the field and over 40% from deep. Add to that nearly 6 rebounds and 6 assists, and suddenly it wasn't just Curry playing great basketball. It was Curry breathing life back into a team that looked lost. The future didn't just look hopeful, it looked combustible, like a fuse waiting to ignite. There were nights when he delivered storm after storm. Against Brooklyn, he poured in 40 points and 7 threes, a shooting clinic so dazzling that even in defeat, the highlight reels couldn't stop replaying his mastery. Games like that were reminders that the sport itself bends to his will when he catches fire. But as the season edged toward its climax, fate dealt a cruel hand. A hamstring injury struck in the final stretch, sidelining him at the very moment the Warriors needed him most. The team pushed on, but Curry's absence was undeniable. Yet even from the bench, his presence lingered. Cameras caught him locked in, leaning forward, encouraging teammates, his voice cutting through the chaos. He spoke of tweaking the roster, of building back stronger, of wanting nothing more than a fighter's chance. And you could feel it. This wasn't the end, just another pause before the storm. Even in silence, Curry carries weight. Fans leaned forward, hanging on every update. Would he return in time? Could the Warriors mount one last surge? The tension was thick, the pressure mounting. And yet, through it all, that familiar image remained. Curry, eyes locked, ready to rise again. This season, for all its triumphs and heartbreaks, reminded everyone who had ever doubted him of one undeniable truth: artistry, precision, and belief age like fine wine. Curry didn't just flirt with brilliance, he lived in it, delivering it in buckets, in threes, in halftime takeovers, and game-changing runs. He reminded us that greatness isn't just about numbers, it's about the feeling he leaves behind. And by the time the credits roll on this season's story, the truth is clear. Stephen Curry isn't merely playing basketball anymore. He's composing it. Each game a movement, each shot a lyric, each season a symphony. And at 37, he isn't slowing down. He's still writing history, one jaw-dropping, soul-stirring play at a time. And that wraps up today's breakdown. If you love basketball as much as we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. More highlights, more stories, more legendary moments are coming your way, right here on the channel. Thanks for watching, and remember, every play tells a story, but only the great ones echo forever.